Welcome to Tales and Tea, a podcast where we brew up the best books and shows that spark your imagination.
I'm Liz.
I'm Lindsay.
Grab your favorite cup of tea and settle in as we dive into the stories that captivate us.
Let me pull up the questions for House Moving Castle. How are you?
Very good.
Good.
Better than you, probably.
Probably. I'm feeling better. I don't have a fever anymore, so that's great news. I'm the only one in my whole family who doesn't have a fever.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, all three.
It really got you guys.
All three of my kids still have fevers.
Is that why you had to get them today?
Yeah, so this morning they were fine. Nobody had any fevers. They were great. And I thought, all right, you guys can go to school. So I sent them to school, and they weren't even at school an hour. And do you know how confident we were that they were going to be fine? We went to breakfast.
Oh, my goodness.
So we're in the restaurant eating breakfast, and they're like, hi, you need to come get your kids. They both have fevers of 105. I'm like,
what?
I literally put them on the bus like an hour ago, and they didn't have any fevers. So
that's high.
So I went to Walmart and got a new thermometer because I'm like, obviously my thermometer is broken. It's also like a cheap little digital thermometer from the doctor's office from when they were born 5 years ago.
Time to get a new one.
So I got a fancy thermometer now that does the ear. It does your forehead. If you put it on your finger, it'll take your pulse and check your oxygen levels.
That is fancy.
It has Bluetooth and logs all the temperatures in the
That's cool.
in the app, and then I can assign them to a person. This thermometer is going to change my life. So anyways, we're doing a lot better. While I was sick, I watched Howl's Moving Castle for the very first time. Yes. And actually, I think it was last fall. Was it last fall? That we watched my very first Studio Ghibli movie ever.
Yeah, it was fall.
Yeah, we watched Spirited Away.
Spirited Away.
Do you know what I thought about the other day? This is a total sidetrack. Last fall was Josiah's wedding. Does it not feel like that was years ago?
Ages. Ages.
So, anyways, so we thought this week's, since I've been sick and I haven't been reading, and we haven't started on Crown of Midnight. I have it, but that is the next book that we're going to do. And I'm going to start it probably later, maybe this weekend. We'll see. I'm almost done with Ballad of Songbird and Snakes. And then just in time for the next one to come out, by the way. Comes out
I know, I'm so
today
excited.
Or tomorrow.
What's it called? Sunrise on the Reaping.
Something like that, yeah. So,
or Sunset on the Reaping. One of those.
I can't remember. It's something about the sun.
But a Haymitch story. I'm so excited.
I know. I'm so excited.
I'm going to have to get it.
Like, my Instagram has been full of clips of Haymitch from the movies. And been like, me knowing I'm about to get the backstory of what broke this man and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
they do mention it. I don't know if it's I think it's the second one because he was in a Quarter Quell as well.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, because he's a previous victor. The only one.
So they were studying Quarter Quells.
He was a Quarter Quell? Does that mean he was in the Hunger Games more than once?
No, Quarter Quell is they do something special.
Oh, okay. So it doesn't necessarily mean that they pick from previous winners.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so like the regular Hunger Games, when they picked from the previous tributes, they chalked that up to it being a Quarter Quell. Because they write, I don't know who it was, like the board or something in the Capitol wrote down what each Quarter Quell would be. Mm-hmm. And they would finally open the letter at the Quarter Quells. But the suspicion that Snow had it changed so that the tributes would go in again.
Yeah, so
to send a message, basically. But
yeah, and they were trying to kill Katniss, so
yes,
and so we know it doesn't work. But so, anyways, Howl's Moving Castle, I loved it.
I thought you'd like that one.
It's like I loved it. So far, it's been my favorite one. I liked Spirited Away. It was good. But this, it had the vibes of like, yeah, I get it. I love it.
It's more your vibes, too.
Yeah, exactly.
Up your alley. I like everything. I kind of like the weirder stuff.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
this one's not weird.
Yeah,
it is a little weird.
My favorite character in Spirited Away was Baby Howl, in my opinion. He looks exactly like Howl.
The baby one.
The boy that helps her, that tries to help her escape. The water spirit.
Haku.
Yeah, he looks like Howl. He looks exactly
like
Howl.
He has black hair, though.
Howl does at the end of the movie, so what? I'm like, like him. Are the universes connected? Is it like this is the Studio Ghibli universe and everything's connected, or they're all standalones?
Basically standalones.
Yeah. I loved it. Also,
it could be in like the same universe or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Can we talk about Christian Bale as the voice of Howl?
Yeah.
Did you know that he's only ever voiced characters in a movie like this, like done voice acting, in 3 different things?
Mm-hmm.
And 2 of them...
3.
Yep, only 3 things. And 2 of them are Studio Ghibli.
Okay, let me guess the other one.
Okay.
I don't know.
You're like, wait, let me guess. I don't know.
Well, I know... I think Howl's Moving Castle is the only thing I knew Christian Bale was in.
Yeah. So, I've never seen the other one that he's done.
Which one is that one?
It's the boy, shoot. I just had it.
Is it the newer one, The Boy and the Heron?
Yes, thank you. It's that one.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one because that's like the newest one that came out.
Yeah, that's the...
That came out after the artist who made the Ghibli had passed away.
Yeah.
So they kind of paid tribute to him with that.
So he's back in that movie. He voices somebody. I don't know who. Mm-hmm. I just know that out of 3 things that he's done, 2 of them were Studio Ghibli. And he was perfect for Howl. He was good. The perfect intonation and...
he has the perfect like ASMR voice.
I was gonna say the thing that I think I enjoyed the most about this movie was the lack of screaming. There's a lot of screaming in Spirited Away. She is just screaming at the top of her lungs all the time. I'm like, shut up!
There's so much variety when it comes to his movies, and he shows correct age reactions.
Yes. Yep.
From what I've seen.
Yeah, she's a little kid. She's scared. Mm-hmm. She's screaming. That makes sense. Then you've got
like even Markle in the movie. He's a little, you know,
but not nearly as bad. Mm-hmm. He's mostly just like, huh, what?
Yeah. He's there to learn.
He's a little okay, Markle there. But
like the vibe of the movie.
The overall vibe of the movie was immaculate. The vibes were immaculate. It was beautiful. The world was beautiful. I loved the like aesthetic of it all. So pretty. And I also thought it was hilarious that we've got this like geopolitical crazy governmental turmoil as subplot. It's background.
Yep.
You're just like, wait a minute. People are dying and they're bombing cities and that's a subplot?
You know what? It's genius, though.
It is.
It's genius because no matter what's going on in the world, what comes down to what matters the most is what he focused on.
Yeah, exactly. It's about the people, your family, and like your loved ones and all of that. Loved it. Perfect.
So good. I love it.
Yes.
So the main character is Sophie.
Yes.
I don't know if she has a last name or not.
Oh, Well, it's going to be Mrs. Howl, so.
Okay. I think Howl's his first name.
No, it is. It is. But I mean,
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Wait,
Howl and Sophie, that's it. We only know first.
Yeah, except when
names.
She pretends to be his mother. What's the
Pendragon.
Pendragon?
But I think that was like an alias name. It wasn't a real name.
That was funny too. It was like,
yep.
What?
But Sophie in the beginning, in her little hat shop.
Oh my gosh,
hats.
I love the hat shop. I thought it was interesting, like a good metaphor of how you have this, like, she gets so enthralled in what's going on. It gave me Tiana vibes because she's doing it for her dad. It's her dad's hat shop. She's dedicated to it. She's like, her mom and her sister are like, come on, like, forget about the hat shop. And she's like, the hat shop meant everything to dad. Like, I'm going to do this, whatever. But then, like, she lost sight of why she was doing it or what her dad was actually invested in. And she
didn't know what it wasn't her goal in life.
Yes.
It was for her
dad's. Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Because Tiana's goal was the restaurant. But that was also her dad's goal. But then it became like, I'm doing this because of my dad. And forget about my happiness and forget about relationships. Like, it's all about, I'm doing this for my dad. But it's like, your dad actually wanted you to just have happy life and happy relationships. He didn't really care if you had
she was so sad. It kind of is depressing at the beginning.
Yeah. And I think it was, she was searching for fulfillment there. And it takes her the whole movie to figure out that that's not where fulfillment is.
To be fair, her mother and like those friends were super annoying.
They were. And her mother, I remember thinking her mother and her sister looking the way they look, behaving the way they behave. And like the scene with her sister was so telling. Because everyone is talking to the sister. Hi, we know whatever. Or, oh, you know, why don't you come and help me and whatever. And like everyone loves her sister, thinks she's beautiful. All the men are falling over themselves for her sister. And she's like, I'm not pretty. I'm not worth it. People don't see me. Like,
she projected that.
Yes. Yep, for sure. And she took her sister's like, come on, like, you need to get out of there or whatever, as her being like, you need to give up the one thing you're good at. And then it caused her to kind of like cling to that. She's like, that's all I have. Like, I'm not giving that up. And she's like, come on.
And she kind of passed it off too. Like, I'm fine.
Yep.
I'll be okay. You do you.
Yep.
You know,
I'm going to keep
not
on
wanting to bother anyone.
Right. I'm going to keep on keeping on and keep doing my hat shop work. It was very, very intricate, like the emotions of it and the feelings of it, because you're like, oh, she's good at making hats. She likes making hats. That's great. But she's using making hats and staying in this little room as an excuse to avoid the world and what she's really feeling.
Right.
So, yeah, I thought it was excellent
it's
character
like a
writing.
journey of self-discovery.
Yeah, and self-acceptance, too. Because I think that's where the curse comes in. When the witch gets, like, jealous of the fact that Howl saves her or whatever. And so I have a question, and maybe you can answer it, maybe you can't. But when Howl, like, saves her from those soldiers, and then they, like, jump up and they're walking over the city and whatever, and then he drops her off at her sister's workplace, was that, like, him claiming her? Like, this is my girl now? Or what? Because it was like, as soon as that happened, everyone is like, oh, now you give my regards to Howl. It's like,
I think it started off because Howl had this reputation of stealing young girls' hearts, basically. Whether that be like a metaphor or literal, I'm not sure. I don't picture him like taking the hearts out of women. It's just that he would, you know, he's drawn to them.
Right.
But I think she was just, he saw her need, because remember the soldiers were like coming on to her.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
she was feeling uncomfortable. But obviously the soldiers, like the minions from the Witch of the Waste, were coming after Howl.
Yeah.
So he took that as an opportunity. I was like, okay, I'll save her, and then I'll get
Yeah.
away as well.
Right.
You
right.
know,
Yeah.
I'll get this off of my back. So I think it was just kind of like, not that he saw her and was like, that's it, but
Yeah.
like, oh, she's in need, let me do that, and then
Right.
I can get away from, we can both get away from these things that are following us right now.
Yeah,
And
yeah. That makes sense. Because I thought it was interesting how she's like on her way back to the hat shop, and then when the witch shows up, she's basically like, wow, why would he pick you? You're like so ugly and whatever. And like insulting the hat shop, insulting her. She's just like throwing insults left and right.
The Witch of the Waste is like, she reminds me of Ursula.
Yes.
Because she kept using, what a tacky shop.
Yeah.
It was so like diva-y.
Yeah, you're
but
just
evil,
like,
villainy,
like
kind of.
looking down the tip of her nose at everything. Like, it's like, lady, have you looked in a mirror lately?
The bias is strong.
Yes, yeah, I am perfect. I could never be not perfect. But I thought the curse was crazy. I was like, huh?
Were you confused?
Yes, at first.
What happened?
At first I was kind of like, what? And then I actually like watched it, like went back and watched it again. And when she goes, you can't, the best part about that curse is you can't talk about it. Give my regards to Howl. I was like, what? I was so confused. I was like, well, if she can't talk about it, then how is she gonna, what?
Just meaning that she can't talk about the curse. She can talk about meeting the Witch of the Waste and stuff. So I think when the witch probably knew that Howl might be back.
Yeah. She must have known
or
that
their paths must cross.
Yeah, something. Yeah. But then also it was kind of crazy because she ends up finding him, like just per happenstance.
Yeah. So. But when she turns old, that was the curse.
Yeah.
It's not just that, oh, she turned her old. It's the Witch of the Waste turned her into how she viewed herself.
So I wondered that too, because like throughout the movie, there are times where she slowly starts to turn younger, or she's looking younger than she was, and then she goes back to being older, and it's almost like a physical manifestation of her self-doubt.
Yes. Yeah. And her self-worth, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Because she was kind of like, when she's really confident and she's yelling at someone and she's telling them what for or whatever, she gets young, and then she's like, you have to fight her. You've got to come on, let's go. Whatever. Then she's like, and then they're like, what about you? And she's like, me. And then she turns old, like, immediately. She's like, not me. Yeah. Oh, no. You.
So as you're watching this, like, for the first time, you kind of think it's like, oh, it's like a true love spell, a curse. But no, as it goes on.
Oh, yeah, like in the beginning.
As it goes on, you realize that she has the power all along. Yeah. Like, it's her own curse on herself.
Right. That only she can break.
Yep.
Yeah, because she's just got to believe in herself.
Yep.
Oh, man.
And the witch is like, we'll get to that later. Never mind.
And then it was interesting because I was like, Calcifer could tell when she gets into the house that she had a curse on her. Could Howl tell when he saw her for the first time?
They met for the first time. They didn't see... She didn't have the curse on her.
No. I know. When he comes home after she moves into the castle and he's like, who are you? And she's like, I'm the new cleaner.
Might have suspected it because of how Calcifer reacted to her.
Yeah. Because it was like later, I think it's like maybe not too much longer after that, she's asleep and he sees that she's asleep and he peeks on her, and then
Mhm.
she's her young self sleeping in the bed.
I think that's like a confirmation of what he's.
Because he says nothing and he gives no reaction. He just stares
Mhm.
and then leaves.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh.
And you have to remember Calcifer and Howl are connected.
So that was the other thing, was I was like,
Yeah.
to see like Calcifer and him like communicate somehow, or they have like a shared like mind knowledge. I don't know. Not a shared mind.
Yeah.
But
Like they both have that magical aura sense, I think.
yeah.
Because, you know, Howl still has his magic. Calcifer can use his own kind of magic.
Yeah.
But not Calcifer without Howl, really.
Yeah.
So Howl's kind of like holding the magic at this point.
Right. Because he
Maybe.
swallowed the star.
Mm-hmm.
Now that part was very confusing. I was just kind of like, wait a minute. So we'll get there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Turnip Head, the journey. She starts walking. She decides to leave the hat shop.
Yes, because she can't stay there. They're going to find out she's old.
Yep. I thought it was funny when her mother knocked on the door.
Yeah.
And then she's like, what are you doing? And she's like, Sophie, you sound so old.
You sound terrible.
You sound terrible. And she's like, no, I just have a cold. And then they leave. And I thought that was so funny because she's actually an old woman in the room.
You sound so old. And she's like, in her blanket.
And like her getting up,
Yep.
trying to walk.
Oh, man. And she's just like, what in the world?
So she's probably going off to find a cure for
I think
like
that's
whatever
what she was trying to
happened.
do. Because it seemed like she was headed towards the waste. Like, I gotta go find the witch of the waste in the waste and be like, listen, you gotta break this curse.
Yep.
You gotta take this curse off of me.
Yep.
But it was within.
But that's when she meets Turnip Head.
I love Turnip Head.
Turnip Head.
I love Turnip Head as a Turnip Head.
What an unlikely character. I do too.
Yep.
His Turnip Head after the curse was broken.
Yep.
Ew.
It looks like
No, thank you.
Willy Wonka.
It really is. I was like, this is like blonde Lord Farquaad right here. Like, awful hair. And I'm like, you're a prince. You have all the barbers in the world.
That's hilarious. The blonde Lord Farquaad. His hair. I
It's
was like,
so
sir,
bad.
I know you've been missing for a while, but you need to go see a barber.
Yeah. But Turnip Head's he's so helpful.
He is. He's like the epitome of a spirit guide.
Yeah.
He's like,
And like, you're like, what kind of thing is this?
right? And
You
at
know?
first I was kind of like, how in the world? Like, what is he doing out there?
Mhm.
But then it makes sense that he also was cursed.
Mhm.
And I was like, wow.
But he got her a walking stick and just kind of
Yeah, got her a cane, and then she was like, can you find me a place to stay? And then he goes and brings the whole castle. She's like, "House, castle."
Sophie, after going into the castle from the waste, Sophie and Calcifer's relationship through the whole movie is so funny.
They're
They like
hilarious.
insult each other.
Yep.
They're like an old married couple.
That's
but
what-
like,
It was like that, or like siblings.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
siblings, like brother
Like they
and
just
sister.
said it how it was, and it was funny.
Oh,
Sophie's threatening to
throw water
splash
on
water
him.
on him the whole movie, and Calcifer is just like, "Dang, girl,
You know what I think
you're
is-
like,
What I think is so crazy too is that when she actually does splash water on him, she feels horrible. She's
Yep,
literally
yeah.
like, I killed him. She's
Yeah.
devastated.
mm-hmm.
But I was like, is she devastated? And then it was like equal parts devastation for Calcifer and for potentially killing Howl.
yeah."
So
But she was we'll get there later.
yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And then, who do we meet next? So they make a pact.
yes, to help free
'Cause
Calcifer
Sophie's-
from Howl.
To break each other's curses.
Yes.
Like, you help me, I'll help you. bada bing, bada boom.
Yep.
We can do this.
Yeah.
You know? So
And that's
Sophie
when,
falls asleep on the chair.
that was so funny. I think it's funny how they kind of establish in that you can't talk about your curse because Calcifer can't tell her how him and Howl got cursed.
Right.
So is that just like the norm for curses?
Oh, we don't see too many.
The
Turnip
only-
Head can't talk.
I was gonna say the only other one is Turnip Head, but he can't talk. So
I know. I'm like, so it must be like a thing.
yeah,
Because it wouldn't be really a curse if like.
yeah. I
I think
know.
part of the curse is like living with it
Mhm.
without having someone else know.
Right. And then
They're so funny.
is that when we meet Markle? I think.
Yeah, I think Markle's the next one that
Yeah.
enters the chat.
Yes, because
As Sophie's still sleeping in the living room.
because someone rings the bell or knocks at the door or something like that.
Knocks at the door, yeah.
Yeah, and then he has to like put on his beard disguise and go help him.
Mm-hmm.
That-
I love that door. It's
I
so
wish
cool.
we had more origin for Markle. Where does Markle come from, and how did he end up with Howl and Calcifer?
That is so true.
Like, is he
I wanna know
an
that now.
apprentice or?
I think
And-
he is an apprentice because he said he's learning. He has to practice his magic and
Yeah, so that's the only thing I could think was like that's the apprentice.
yeah.
Yeah,
I would guess that.
but
I always
some of
assume
my-
that, but I don't know.
Some of my favorite lines from the whole movie are from Markle. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when.
Do you have any?
Yes, okay. So my absolute favorite top 10, I laughed out loud, was when Sophie gets mad and she's cleaning and she's throwing everything out onto the sidewalk and cleaning, and he's carrying stuff around, and then a guy comes up and he goes, "I wouldn't go in there right now if I were you. There's a witch on a rampage." I was like, what?
I like when Sophie starts to joke. She's just like, I'm the worst witch of them all.
Or my favorite is when he's like, please, please. And she's like, well, if you don't want me to clean anything in your room, you better go hide it right now. And he's like, ah!
Yep.
And then he runs upstairs. He's like, "I'm
Such a
not
kid
clean."
trait. I love it.
Yeah, yeah. I love
So
it.
good. But
Markle. Love Markle. He's probably
Yeah,
my favorite
Markle.
character.
he's like, who is this lady?
Yeah,
Like,
literally. He's just like,
he doesn't like question why she's there. Well, he
Yeah.
does, but like is like, okay, well, Calcifer let you in. You must not be too bad, is what he
Right.
said.
exactly. Do you think Calcifer knew that Howl liked Sophie?
Maybe not yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
That-
think this is like the true like
Yeah.
beginnings of something.
Because I don't think Calcifer knew when he let her in the castle, but he started to
Mhm.
realize it later.
Later on, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Mhm.
Yeah. I wonder how much of Calcifer's emotions are influencing Howl's and how much of Howl's influence Calcifer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
never thought about that.
Because he's like...
They kind of have to, because they're like one and the same right now.
Right. Because when Howl comes for the first time after Sophie's there, he says, Calcifer, you're being so obedient.
Yeah. May all your bacon burn.
May all your
I love
bacon
that
burn.
one. That's my favorite line in the whole movie.
I loved it when he was like making the breakfast and then he's like cracking the eggs and then he feeds the eggshell to Calcifer. Calcifer goes, oh. I was like, oh, I
This
love it.
movie is like literal genius when it comes to sound.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. It was
It's so
beautiful.
It's so audio pleasing. I love watching
Yes.
it.
Sensory soothing. I loved it all. Loved it. It was perfect.
And the music
I
was
think
just
it.
so like
I think it's going to become my Mamma Mia.
yeah.
Yep.
I
So-
think I've gone away from Mamma Mia.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
What's your new one?
My new comfort movie
Yeah.
is The Last Samurai.
Oh, I think you did like that one too, though.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, Liz and I went to college together. And all throughout college, whenever Liz was sick, we knew Liz was sick because she would watch Mamma Mia.
Mamma
Whether
Mia.
homesick, physically sick, emotionally sick, it was Mamma Mia. And we watched Mamma Mia a lot.
I love it. I still love ABBA.
Best.
ABBA all the way.
The best.
So good.
But I think that's what Howl's Moving Castle is going to become for me. Is it's going to be my comfort movie that I go to.
All Studio Ghibli.
Maybe, I don't know.
All of
Spirited
them.
Away has way too much yelling, but
Yeah.
but I'm yet to. There's a lot more, so I'm happy to keep watching and figure out if there's some more.
So many. You should watch Princess Inosuke. Minosuke yet? Inosuke?
Inosuke, the guy from
Something.
Demon Slayer.
That's not it. Let me see.
Is it on HBO?
Minoki.
Minoki.
Minoke.
Oh, I think I've seen clips of that.
Mm-hmm. That's a good one to
Oh.
watch next. Or I would say another comfort one,
Yeah.
if you're looking something, is Secret Life of Aridity?
Aridity? Okay.
Aridity? The Secret Life of Aridity.
I have to watch
The
it.
Secret World of Aridity.
Aridity. Okay.
They're about small people
Maybe I've seen
who
that.
live in this house. So cute.
I'll have to watch it.
Yes.
Yeah. So, anyways, I think that's my my favorite interaction between Howl and Calcifer is when they're making breakfast.
Yeah.
Love that one.
See them together a lot.
Yeah, you don't actually.
Which is also a metaphor to how Howl is set up. Like,
Yeah.
he's very unemotionally
Available. Yeah.
Like, he's detached, basically,
Mm-hmm.
from... Later on, we find out Calcifer is connected to his heart.
Yes.
So he's, like, detached from his heart. So, therefore, like, you see it kind of growing.
Yeah. What did you like? For me, we got a good growth moment for everyone after Sophie's done cleaning everything, and Howl comes home and tries to take a bath.
Yes.
And his hair
The tantrum scene.
ends up orange. Do you know what I thought?
It turns black, though.
I know, it ends up being black. But do you know what I thought was crazy? You know when you're in a bad relationship, but you can only see the bad relationships that are around you and you can't see how your own is bad?
Yeah.
It's like pick the plank out of your eye before you worry about the speck in someone else's eye.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. That's what happened with Sophie and Howl in that moment. Because Howl is losing it over not being beautiful anymore. And Sophie's like, it's okay, you are beautiful, like all these things, and like trying to reassure him, when that's quite literally what she's dealing with as well.
Mm-hmm.
He's
definitely more outwardly
focused.
Yeah, what do they call that?
Vanity. He's vain.
Yeah, he's outwardly vain of his looks.
Yes. He's literally just like, hey, beautiful, that's all I have. It's gone now, you took it away. She's like,
forget it. It was just his hair.
I know. I'm like, I think he looks fine. He goes, I'm hideous, and starts melting on the floor.
Definitely blondes don't do it for me.
I didn't like him blonde. I liked him better with black hair.
I agree.
I was like, that suits you better, actually, because aren't you a black bird?
Mm-hmm. Can't change those feathers.
Nope. I thought it was funny, too, when she thought he was the dog.
Oh, yeah, that was the whole scene of it.
When she's carrying him up the stairs. then it comes out later that the dog can fly. I was like, that.
When they're walking, to the castle, as she's kind of disguised as Pendragon, because after his tantrum,
Yep.
he kind of opens up to her about the stress he's under.
Yeah.
Because of the war.
He's got to
This is the first time we actually kind of hear about the war, other than that he is fighting as like this creature thing.
Yeah.
And so he has this genius idea of sending her in disguise as a mother.
As his
probably
mother.
because she's old.
Yes. Yeah.
Looking. So when they're walking, she's trying to guess who Howl will be, because Howl says like, "Oh, I'll be
in disguise.
I'll be there in disguise." So they have this soldier flying past in this plane with this girl, and it's kind of like a Marilyn Monroe moment. She's like, and she's like, that could be Howl. I like that one too. Like, in so much disgust. It's so funny.
Yeah, it was funny. But the dog cracked me up. It was like, he had his little blonde,
tough
little butt part.
Yeah.
It was so funny. It was like, oh, and she just goes, oh, obviously blonde hair on a dog. That's Howl, obviously.
Yeah.
And then she proceeds to carry the dog all the way up the palace steps.
I'd be so mad.
I thought it was interesting that the witch was there.
Because she was summoned too.
Yeah, and she said she'd been waiting a long time to receive an invitation into the palace.
I always kind of miss the part why she was invited.
I think because they wanted her, under the guise that she wanted her to join the war.
Yeah. But they took her
powers instead.
Her magic away from her vanity, beauty as well.
Yep.
Which that was a crazy scene.
It was ugly is what it was.
It
was like...
But she comes this shriveled old lady.
Yep.
And Madame Sullivan's like, this is what you got.
Yep.
From running from us. And
yep. And that's your true age. It finally got up with you.
Yep. This is how you look on the inside, basically.
Yeah. Which is the whole moral of the whole movie. Is all that matters is what we are on the inside, not what we look like on the outside.
Yep.
Yep.
To reflect it and be true to yourself.
Yeah. Yep. And there are so many different, like, little nuances about it throughout the whole thing, which I thought was crazy. But I thought it was even more crazier that Howl just gives himself up. He's just like, no, I'm right here. How did Sullivan pick up on the fact that he loved her? I was so confused. Because she's just like,
See, he was
has
acting different. He wouldn't have come if he didn't love her.
It's true. He would have just left her.
Because, like, his past, you think about him stealing the hearts of women. You know, he doesn't really care for the feelings of others.
Right.
Like, he probably just feed them to the wolves.
Yeah.
But he actually showed up. And you could kind of see it in his eyes. You know how his eyes, like, got bigger?
Yeah.
And brighter, you know, when he was around Sophie?
Yep. Yeah, and he had, like, especially after the tantrum, like, when he's up in his bed crying, and she's like, it's okay, like, you're beautiful or whatever, and then he goes, oh, you could be my mother, and you could go for me. He's like a little kid.
Yeah.
He's like, I had a brilliant idea. This is a terrible idea. Oh, man.
And Solomon, you have to remember, Solomon was his teacher for a really long time.
Yep.
So, like, she knew how and how he acted.
Yep. That's true.
So,
I didn't think of that.
I think that's kind of comes down to it.
That's weird. But does she know that she's cursed? Or she probably does.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think she does.
My
because
favorite is when the king comes
Sophie...
in,
when Sophie was talking about Howl to Solomon,
she
got younger, like right in front of her face.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's true. I forgot about that.
Because like she's feeling those like young young love,
Yeah.
basically.
And showing the beauty of within her because of that
Yep.
love. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yep. And then the king comes in and she becomes old again.
But it's cracking me up because Howl is over here like, we're not going to use wizards to fight the war anymore. We're not going to do any of that. We're just going to do something else. Oh, okay, Your Majesty, sure.
Did you know it was Howl?
I didn't know it wasn't Howl. I was just like, that's super weird.
Were you like still like, who is Howl? Where is he?
I was like, what is going on? And I was like,
Mhm.
why is the dog laying down next to that lady? I was so confused.
Yeah.
I still thought Howl was the dog until he wasn't the dog. And then I was like,
until she said, he fetched you for me, basically.
Yes, yeah. And then I was like, oh.
He's somewhere else.
Who is he? Then there were all those little blonde-haired boys running around. And I'm like, is he one of those guys? I don't know. It's like, he could be anybody.
Seriously.
Oh, man, it was funny.
But after that,
yes.
they kind of skip.
Yeah, he gives her a moment of, or what is it, 5 minutes of invisibility or something like that?
Yeah, and he gives her that ring.
Yeah. Which becomes very important later.
Mm-hmm. Cause he was like, as long as you wear this, you'll always be able to
find me, or I'll be able to find you.
She'll be able to find home? What's that quote?
I don't know, something like with Calcifer or something.
Let me look at it. It said, the ring that I gave you will guide you back home. All you have to do is summon Calcifer with your heart.
Okay. Yep. There you go. Which becomes
so they're
very
connected
important.
somehow.
Very important later. Yeah. So they escape.
Yes, they're escaping.
He gives her the ring. What happens when she gets back?
She crashes.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that, into the house. And she takes the witch. Why? She reminds me of a little kid who brings home dead insects and says, this is my new pet.
Sophie, you can see her character shine through there because she doesn't. If someone's in trouble, she's gonna step up. Even if they did her wrong.
Even though the witch cursed her, she's like, she doesn't have her powers anymore. She needs help.
Yep. She's compassionate.
Yeah, very compassionate. Very sweet.
Yep.
Yeah. And the witch doesn't do her any favors, even after all her kindness.
Yeah, so they crash. Hal, they all go to bed.
Yeah, they do.
And Hal comes back, and he's getting harder and harder to change back from that bird thing.
And that's when we hear that that the wizards can turn into monsters, but if they do it for too long, they can't turn back.
Right. So it's becoming increasingly difficult for Hal as he continues to fight in this war.
Right.
And you hear more about the war now, again. Yes. In this scene, he is talking to Calcifer.
Yeah, because everyone else is asleep. And I'd also like to point out that it's the next morning when Howl changes the castle.
They're moving day.
You're telling me this man could have cleaned up the whole house by himself, and he didn't?
Make it bigger? Yeah.
They were living in squalor when she moved in there, and I'm like, what?
I don't think it was already clean, though. I think it just added more rooms. It still would have been a mess in there if Sophie didn't clean it.
That's true.
Yeah. Gross. You nasties.
Yeah, nasties. Bunch of boys.
You nasties.
Bunch of boys living together. I think my favorite is when she scoops out the hearth and gets all the ashes out. And Calcifer's in the bucket hanging on the log. I love that animation. Sophie, I'm falling.
I'm gonna go out.
Please.
I'm gonna go out. Help me. It was so good.
It was so funny. You'll be fine. You're fine.
Yeah. That's their friendship again.
Yeah, and then when Howl comes in, He goes, Sophie put these logs here for me. And then he's like munching on them and whatever. Wasn't that nice?
Yeah.
It's like,
It was sweet.
so cute.
And that's another way that Sophie showed her caring side.
Yeah. Yep. So.
But where we're at. So they move.
Yep, moving day.
And Hal adds a new
door
to the portal
Is
thing.
it pink?
I think it is.
Yeah.
That or green.
It's pink.
One of them.
Green and blue, or was it red and blue? That were the two.
There was black, which was like the void.
Which is for him.
Mm-hmm.
But I think you're right. I think it is pink.
There is a yellow, I think, in there somewhere. I don't know.
I don't know.
But the actually, I want to talk about that. The color wheel.
Yeah.
You saw that in Spirited Away, the window at the beginning. Remember I pointed it out to you? And you're like, remember that. So there is like little Easter eggs that he does too.
Yeah. For sure. Because I was like, it's been a while since I watched Spirited Away. So now I'm like, and I was very focused on the plot.
It's at the very beginning, so
I'll have to.
You don't have to go far into it.
When I'm done watching all of them, I'm gonna have to go back through and watch them again and see. Now that I've watched them for the plot, now I can watch them for the nuance and for the different little things.
Yeah, it's so good. I love these movies. Makes me want to watch The Secret World of
Arithia?
I don't even know.
Arithia?
I don't know.
Is that what you said? Arithia?
No,
One eternity later.
Atrocity.
Huh?
Atrocity. I don't know.
I don't know.
You can look it up and read it.
Will. I'll look them all up. So, yes, after moving day, and he adds the pink.
He adds the flowers. So he's thinking long term right now.
I was like, that was the first indication to me. Like, Howl sees her as a permanent addition to the little gang family they got going on here. So.
But I also think he's worried that he might not come back. And then she would be able to support herself and Markle.
Yes, because she says that.
At this point, she's family.
Right.
Basically.
Yeah. Because she says that when they're walking around, he's showing her.
Yeah.
And he shows her the cottage and everything. And she's like, you're scaring me. Like, where are you going? Like, you're leaving? Right. Like, what's going on? Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's realizing, like, I'm having a harder time turning back after I've been fighting. If I eventually can't turn back, and she
needs to be taken care of.
These guys need to be taken care of. Yeah. The question I have is, if he never turns back into a human, would that mean that his curse with Calcifer could never be broken?
I know.
Probably not.
Probably not. He'd just be out there
wandering,
being a magical beast.
Yep, that's crazy.
Hiding in caves, basically.
That's insane.
So, what happens after that? Okay, so Hal sees the ships.
Yep.
And he goes in and attacks them, basically. Yep. So Sophie runs back.
Yep. Is that when they start attacking the town?
I think they do, because he's trying to stop them from attacking the town.
Yeah.
And then that's when Sophie is like running away from the minion people.
Yeah.
But
they come for him first, don't they? The guards and everybody or is that moving day when they come for him? Because they open up the front of the store and it's just an empty, dilapidated building where
I think it's after, because Sophie has to disconnect.
Oh.
Remember, she takes the heart out and she steps out.
Yes.
Of the moving castle.
Yeah.
To disconnect from the other houses so they don't get blown to bits.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And then she goes back into the moving castle, and then that's just their only...
That's all they have.
Area that they're in.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think you're right. So, yeah. That's crazy.
But
I thought it was very...
But then after that, Calcifer's really weak.
Yeah, because it took
He's
a lot
like, I
out
can't
of
move
him.
this on my own, you
Yeah.
know? Which shows you, like, how much it takes out of Calcifer when Hal is in that.
So are they stuck then? Yeah,
Oh,
they're
so
stuck
only
where they are.
Calcifer needs more, like, energy.
Yeah.
Like, personal energy. So that's when Sophie gives Calcifer her braided hair.
Oh, yes.
And he's like, you should see what I could do with your eyes.
Yeah.
Basically. And she's so demented. But, like, he was joking there. But, like, he became powerful and he was able to pick up the moving castle after that.
Yeah, I remember now. Oh, my
So
goodness.
they're basically running for their lives.
Yes.
And then, what happens after that? I'm trying to think.
Is that when the witch starts to figure out that Calcifer is Howl's heart?
Yeah.
And it's like kind of all coming to a head where like they're fighting, they're running, Howl is fighting, and she can see him fighting.
All she wants is his heart.
Yeah. The stupid witch.
So she grabs the heart.
She takes Calcifer out of the fire.
Which ruins, like, the whole reason why she gave Calcifer her hair.
Oh, my word.
So, basically, the castle falls apart because Calcifer's not in that area anymore.
The whole thing falls apart, and then they start falling because they were, moving above a cliff.
Yep.
So.
And then there was a point where Sophie goes to look for Hal in the black portal because I don't think they detached from that.
Right.
I think this is a little bit before the witch grabs Calcifer.
Yeah.
So she's trying to go find Hal again.
Oh, yes. I remember now. Yeah.
Bring him back.
And that's
because
when she
things are in shambles. Basically.
Is that when she sees the vision of him eating the star?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's how
she's
figures
following
it out.
that. She has that ring.
Yep.
On her finger.
Mm-hmm.
That's pointing her the way. So she starts seeing these whole like visions.
Yep.
Of what happened, who Calcifer is, what happened with Hal. He ate the star.
Yep.
His heart came out.
Yep.
And then there was Calcifer. And then it kind of cuts to where she's going through this cave.
Yeah.
And she finds Hal.
Yep.
So. And then.
And Hal only has one leg.
Yeah, it's creepy. So, as the witch is like taking his heart and stuff, Sophie's trying to bring him back, which she kind of understands her and comprehends what she's trying to say.
Yeah.
She's like, come back, So, he flies off with her. Like, she grabs onto that chicken wing, whatever.
Chicken wing?
He has.
His chicken foot.
His chicken foot. So she's on that thing.
Yep.
And he's flying, and they go. They both bring back to the little square wood piece with legs.
Yes.
Because that's all that's left of the
castle.
The castle. So
Calcifer's keeping it moving. What's left of him as he's being squashed.
And like when they drop, how kind of the feathers disintegrate, and he's left there.
Yeah, laying on Sophie.
Laying down.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And then that's where Sophie has to
put the
basically
heart back.
Beg the
witch.
The Witch of the Waste.
Yeah.
And I think that's where you see the Witch of the Waste like come to.
They kind of have
like,
her
well,
like.
Yours anyway.
There's her character development.
Yep. All the way at the end. But she's like, well, the heart's yours anyway, so it belongs to you.
You take good care of it.
And she like knows that.
Yeah.
So.
It was good.
And everyone's just spectating. So Sophie basically does what Hal did.
And in turn keeps her bond with her pact that she made with Calcifer because she sets him free.
Yep.
Yep.
So then Calcifer, now not being retained by Hal, but is free. He's a star, little comet star looking thing.
Yeah.
So he has his own magic he can use. So
yep.
Basically,
Oh, man. And then the platform falls apart and they start sliding down the hill. And who saves them? My knight in shining armor. Turnip Head.
He broke his stick.
He broke his stick.
An awful way of putting it, but...
It was, yeah, and a terrible thing to happen to such a great man.
Mm.
And then he gets kissed. And an even worse thing happens.
That is the true love's kiss curse that we all thought that Sophie had before, but it wasn't.
Nope.
It was just Turnip's head.
Nope. So,
but too bad for Turnip Head, because Sophie doesn't love Turnip Head.
So what we learned in there is that one-sided true love will break a curse. If the cursed person loves that person truly, they don't have to reciprocate it for the curse to break.
Yep. And then you see the blonde Lord Farquaad, the lost prince of the other kingdom. And it explains the whole drama why there was a war going on.
So, like...
What, because the prince was lost, basically?
The king thinks that he was captured by that kingdom.
Right.
Which is not true.
Mm-hmm.
He was just cursed in the waist. He was
Dang
a
prince.
turnip head.
Better go stop the war, so that's what he goes to do.
Yep.
But he did say he's coming back, so...
To do what? I hope he's got better hair when he comes back.
He needs to find... He can fall in love with Lottie.
Oh, yeah, he could.
Her sister.
Then he could have little blonde hellions.
Yeah.
Princely ones, obviously.
Oh,
man. I loved it. I loved it.
But it's basically... The prince won't give up on the love. Sophie doesn't love him. She loves Howl. Howl loves Sophie back.
Yeah. So wouldn't he want her to be with him because he wants her to be happy because he loves her?
That's how it should be, but some love is selfish.
Love is selfish sometimes.
Did you think Calcifer was gone forever?
Yes, I did. I thought Calcifer was gone forever. I was like, well...
I'm so glad he came back.
Rip Calcifer, never coming back. He left. But
he came back.
He came back. What a sweet...
He was a star.
He was a star.
And he, stays with them. See, they're one big happy family now.
Exactly.
I love it.
Exactly.
So cute.
I was going to say, it's a testament to the bond that they developed while they went through all of this, that Sophie was able to bring everyone together, and now they're a family, and they're going to stay that way.
Yeah.
I love it.
He was like, I missed you guys. Oh, so cute.
So cute. Well,
Is that it for
Howl's Moving Castle?
Such a good one. Highly recommend.
So good. I think you know what time
it makes me want to watch it.
Yes, I know.
What's on my pad?
It's time for What's on My Pad.
What's on my pad? Fantasy, oh, you'll see. A dragon sipping tea by the sea. Castles floating where the stars agree. Imagination running wild and free.
Cute.
Oh, I love it. So cute. I love the dragon sipping tea by the sea.
Oh, and the castle.
We are Tails and tea.
We are Tails and tea. Although today I am Tails and iced coffee.
Iced coffee.
But today, our What's on My Pad is a little bit of a lengthy one.
Uh-huh.
We are
2 chapters.
Yeah, it's 2 chapters. We are currently reading my sister's book, The Last Prince of Cartanin. And I was sick last week, horribly sick. I'm much better now. Still sick. I'm sure you can hear it. So we didn't do Alyssa's chapter 10. Mm-hmm. So today we are going to be covering chapter 10 and chapter 11. Both action-packed answers, more questions, so much happened. So we'll start with chapter 10. And the very first question...
I have to get in that mindset.
I know. What do you think of Marcus and Duke Marcello's conversation?
Grandfather, right?
Yeah, that's his grandfather.
Yeah. So, it gives me guilt vibes.
The grandfather?
He's feeling the weight of heavy guilt right now.
The grandfather?
No, Marcus is when he's talking to his grandfather. because his grandfather is telling him the Williamson boy killed Seth.
Oh, yeah.
So Marcus is like, oh yeah, you don't know the truth. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So,
Because he's like, I can't tell them.
right.
And he doesn't tell them that he's the one who killed Seth. But it is confirmed to us that Seth is his uncle, is his mother's brother.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
older brother.
So,
Which would make sense, I suppose.
it's hard to get a read on the grandfather, actually, in my opinion.
Yeah, he actually is really difficult to read.
Like, I don't know if he's taking him under his wing. Did he only care about Marcus getting the seer powers and then he was done with him? But, you know, his grandfather is kind of like, they're having this whole conversation.
Right.
The grandfather's still grieving.
Yeah.
Marcus is
he killed.
realizing he doesn't know the truth. He's
Nope.
feeling the guilt.
Yep.
And
then,
his grandfather's kind of explaining
yeah.
the gift to him.
And I like how the grandfather is kind of like, it's going to take you a long time to master it. And even Seth spent years trying to master it. He still fell to the madness. And he didn't even have anything close to what you have going on, power-wise.
Yeah, and the quote at the end of the scene is, Orvius's blood and power runs through your veins, and he will guide you, whether you wish it or not. Like, his grandfather's laying it on heavy here. Like, this is...
His grandfather is a no-nonsense man.
Yep.
Which explains why Helena is the way she is.
It makes total sense.
That's her father. That's who raised her.
Mm-hmm. Plus, they had this, like, whole seer thing going on. That's, like,
Dude, okay.
a secret.
Okay. We know that that's her brother.
Mm-hmm.
How heartless is King Henry to tell her to stop crying over a criminal who's her brother?
Yeah. He's becoming more of the king that I'm like, ooh, maybe he's not the side you want to be on.
Liz, I will never side with Duke Saber in my life. But Duke Saber's trying to remove Henry as the king.
Mean anything, but I'm just saying, as a king, it doesn't seem like he'd be a good king. He's malicious.
He's mean.
He's mean.
He's ruling with like an iron fist.
Yeah. He's becoming more and more cruel.
The real question is, will he send aid to the Lone Isles to stop the pirates? And if he doesn't stop the pirates, he's gonna have a real problem.
And it's not that that we're siding with Duke Saber. It's just that on both sides there are good people, but there are also bad people.
Yep.
So, like, the Duke Saber's actions don't determine whether a side is good or not.
Right.
Because he does what he wants.
Oh, yeah, for
Like,
sure.
Whatever.
For sure.
Okay.
So, thoughts on Elwyn's reveal to Duke Saber? I saw it coming. It had to have been.
There has to be some thing. I just don't like it. I'm like, there's no redemption there now. Like, you're stuck.
So Elwyn tells Duke Saber that she is pregnant.
Yeah.
She is pregnante. And I love this, okay? To be truthful, this is my favorite Elwyn scene to date. She ain't taking nobody's crap.
Oh, yeah.
She's like, she comes up to the door. She's like, tell him I'm here. I want to see my husband. And the guard's like, I'm not supposed to let anybody in here. And she goes, I am here to see my husband. Open the door.
Don't give me no sass.
I thought.
You better open it or else.
At first I thought, he's got Lana in there. That's why he's not letting anybody in.
That's what I thought.
So I'm like, oh, crap. Like, she's about to discover it all. It's about to go down.
And she's pregnant.
But no.
That makes it 10 times worse.
Right? But no, he's just in there working, and she just is like not taking his crap.
Mhm.
He literally goes, I did not call for you. She's like, yep, I came here on my own accord. Got something to tell you, so sit down. And he's just like, is everything all right? And she goes,
Yeah,
"Yep."
I think she like put the fear of God in him right there.
His-
I think he was thinking, does she know?
I think he was thinking, what's wrong? Like, did somebody say something? Is there a letter? Like, what's going on here? Because
No,
she goes, I tried to come and see you earlier, but you were not here. And he's like, I've been occupied. Ew.
anything Duke Saber
With your
does,
sister. Ah, Duke Saber.
he's just not it. He ain't it.
Yeah, but I also like, you see this kind of like, here I am, I'm your wife, you're gonna hear me out, you're gonna respect me, and then in an
Elwyn's
instant,
taking a page out of Helena's book.
she was trained by the best.
Yeah,
She was trained by the best for sure, and it's coming
she's
through.
like bringing queen material.
She
out
sure
there.
is. But then also, she goes, "Oh, I hope I'm not an annoyance to you."
Oh, shots fired.
To me, it was very like, I'm not annoying you, am I, by showing up randomly?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, you're never an annoyance, but I must admit I'm tired. And he says it with a sigh. He's exasperated by her because she's like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, here I am to see you. I'm not annoying, am I? And
He's like, he gets the gist there.
Yep. I think there's like subtle undertones of like, listen,
It's starting
I'm still your
the
wife.
starting of tension.
I'm still your wife. I'm still important.
Yeah.
So then
I have this right. You're gonna listen to me.
this is the first time I've ever heard her call him by his name and not husband or something else. She literally calls him John.
What?
She goes, may I speak plainly, John? I was like,
She's like,
huh? Okay.
is that like a belittling move?
No.
To use his
To
name?
me, it's a power move. Oh, you mean,
Yeah.
oh, yeah. In a sense, like to the Duke. Yeah. To be like,
Mhm.
John. It's like,
Yeah.
whoa. Okay.
Like you're not
You're not-
above me.
you're
Our
not
ranks
anything.
are up there.
Yeah. So, he goes, yeah, go ahead. And she tells him that she's pregnant. And that, well, she tells him she's afraid because he's grown distant that
Mm-hmm.
she's not pleasing him as a wife. And he's like, no, I'm very pleased. Forgive me.
Instant denial.
I have not been attentive as a husband since our arrival. My mind has been preoccupied in many places, and the raids have not helped. Ew. And then she says, John, please tell me the truth if you are unhappy. It did
You ain't
start
gonna
here,
tell her
but
the
you
truth.
it did start here, but you have not been the same since we left the Omen Isles. And what happened at the Omen Isles, Liz? Ew. Lana's vow.
He's a frickin' I'm not going there.
I hate him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he doesn't get to deserve to be happy about the baby, though.
I was like, he probably has illegitimate kids like everywhere.
I wondered the same. We haven't heard much about illegitimate kids except for Lana. The king can't be the only one out here having affairs.
There has to be more. That's the whole thing of the nobility when it comes to like
The island's got to be crawling with Duke Saber kids, right?
they're all little pirates.
Oh no!
They're like, Father!
Coming to take you down!
Burn him!
That's hilarious. Oh man.
Yeah, but
That is so funny. So then, Oh, man. So he, she's like, my blood didn't come and I'm pregnant. It's like, whoa. I want to be happy for Elwyn because that's what she wants. She wants kids to fulfill her.
Yeah.
But I don't want to be happy for Duke Saber at all. So we won't be
me
happy for the
neither.
father, but we'll be happy for the mother.
Sure.
She's a powerful woman. She can handle it. Clearly, she just showed us
Yeah.
her power.
She'll grow.
She will.
I feel like she's going to grow.
Nothing is going to turn her into more of a bear than having a cub. And she is going to become the mama
Such
bear.
a good analogy.
Yeah.
Yes.
She is going to become fierce.
Mm-hmm.
And that character development, it's me crazy. I'm ready.
Yep.
All right, next question. What did you think of Charlotte and Carver's discussion? All right, Liz, I got to admit it. As much as I don't want to admit it, as much as I don't want to say that Carver is in love with Charlotte, this scene showed me that they are most definitely in love. He's not going to go save Lana. He's not going to be in love with Lana. He is in love with Charlotte.
His own fairy boy world right now. Like, just in La La Land.
Oh, my word. They are sick cute. They're so cute, it's sick. It's like, come on.
Know a lot about Charlotte, though.
I don't trust Charlotte. He's in love with
I don't
her,
trust
but is
her.
she in love with him?
I don't know how sincere she is.
I don't think she is. That's what's making me
think
nervous.
she's there to play a part or something.
This is what it feels like. The Duke sent her to make sure that the Williamsons join the rebellion. Marry Carver at all costs. Because agreeing to that marriage, Fagin says, if I agree, it means we're in bed with Saber. We gotta do what Saber's doing.
How deep does the saber blood go?
Bro, how funny would it be, though, if Fagin is like, sure, you can marry her, and then cut off Duke Saber. Now, your sister is ours. She's a Williamson. She's not a Saber. So,
Ooh. Like,
reverse
her
Uno.
name is not Saber no more. Ooh. That would be
Okay,
good.
Fagin, let's go. I love Fagin, but don't put it past him. He is
I think he
shrewd.
does power moves. He's strategic.
He sent the king his own messenger's head.
I wouldn't mess with him.
No, I'm
Saber's
not
playing a touchy game.
If
there.
he thinks that he's going to coerce or force Fagin's hand and have him come and be a part of the rebellion, he's wrong.
Right. But he is talking to Carver to see how he feels
Right.
about it.
He is listening to him, and he's like, if you really want to marry her, that's fine.
Yep. I wrote, it doesn't matter politically if his son is happy,
Yeah.
even if he has to deal with some tough consequences, which is probably how it's gonna turn out.
I agree. And so then the next question is actually, what did we think about the conversation between Carver and his dad?
Yeah.
And I think it was very good because, like you said, it lays out that his first loyalty is going to be to his own family.
Yeah.
To say, like, okay, Carver, if you really want to marry this woman, fine. We'll let you marry this woman.
Mm-hmm. But, Carver didn't... you know what gets me? He didn't exactly say yes right away.
No.
He said, if you allow it.
Yeah.
So I still think there's not, total love there.
Yeah, I agree, but also...
I just think there's some smitten.
Yeah. And I think Carver's... Fagin senses that.
Yeah.
Because that's why he was pushing him. Because he's like...
trying to have him figure it out.
Yeah, he goes, well, I don't want an alliance built on deception.
Yeah.
You gotta be sure. You gotta know.
Mm-hmm.
And I have no desire to repay a debt that does not exist. Because he's like, I don't believe I spurned him by saving Lana. I don't believe that's...
Because Carver said what happened.
Yeah, he
didn't
tells them. Yeah.
So, like, Duke Saber, Duke Williamson, Fagin, wouldn't be doing this for any other reason than that Carver likes her.
Yeah, he literally says, I don't wish to build the alliances. And so Carver's then like, oh, so like you're going to reject it? And he goes, I've seen you with her now, and it is clear that you are pleased with her. However, I must admit that I do not like that this union comes with such complications. And then he pauses. He goes, but I suppose they all do.
Ooh.
Is he talking about his own union with his own wife, who also has a brother who's trying to get stuff going on?
Family is dramatic.
Complicated. But I thought it was a good conversation. Once again, no development between Carver and his dad. They're still in this place of his dad holds all the power and Carver is willing to just kind of go along with whatever his dad wants.
I still like Marcus. I still feel like Carver is growing into the man he needs to become.
And I'm afraid that because he's not where he needs to be and the man that he needs to be, that Charlotte is going to be able to take advantage of that.
Yeah.
That's
if she's
my
not
thoughts.
sincere.
Yeah.
If she is truly a Saber.
Yeah.
Saber's not a good name.
So, the next question is, what did you think about what Tiana said to Marcus?
I think it's just kind of like reiterating what the grandfather said, you know?
And I'll... Go ahead.
That he's, more guilt, basically, but he's got to fulfill the path that's set out for him.
Carry on the legacy of your Uncle Seth. His seer nature was cut short by our king and by Carver Williamson's hand. Marcus.
So many lies.
So many lies. And to Tiana of all people.
Yeah.
Like, I love her. Why would he lie? Ugh, so annoying. But also, the king is lying. Or he's just letting everyone believe that. We go back to maybe he's not the best leader.
I feel like this could be used by the king later on.
Probably.
If he needed it.
It's got to be strategic.
Because, like, knowing his relationship with Marcus, like, their conversation stating, like, oh, you're not going to tell anyone. And then the king's like, no one will find out. But, like, later on, the king can use that to affect Marcus's relationships and stuff later on.
And decision making.
Mostly to keep him in check.
I was about to say, like, you're going to do XYZ or everyone's going to find out you killed Seth.
And that's going to be
and the other people who know the truth have the same power.
Right.
Because Fagin knows. Because Carver told him.
Yeah.
Nimrod knows. Oh, Lord above, Nimrod. I forgot about Nimrod.
Where is Nimrod? Where did he go?
In the capital somewhere. I don't know.
He's living his life.
Oh, man.
Sneaking into dungeons again.
Yes. And then, how did you perceive Thornwick?
It's a dead town.
It's a dead town.
It's dead.
There's nobody there.
Cold and empty.
Cold and empty.
Yep. Cold and empty.
Yep.
It's not a big city like he was used to. Wilderness, cold,
think when he
bad.
What did he think about it? He thought it was like going to be an outpost or something. I think that was generous. Because an outpost would have people. This is the shell of a house in the mountains. Surrounded by snow. I love how he goes. He asks this guy who's with him, where is everyone? And Sir Ian is like, I'm not certain, Your Grace. I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't see anyone. I'm seeing the same thing you are.
Right.
Who comes into line? One of the workers or something.
It's the woman and the old guy.
Oh, yeah.
They're carrying
and that's
firewood.
When they introduce
Lady Catherine.
Catherine.
Love
And then he
her.
realizes why he was sent there, because her father died.
Yes. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no lord. She's the only one. So there's no one left in his family to be the lord of that manor. Catherine Withers. What a beauty.
He's smitten. We'll get to that.
He goes,
But
she says, "Are you the messenger from the king? I sent him a scroll informing him of my father's passing. Many of the men abandoned their posts after he fell ill. Do you carry the king's reply?" And he goes, "You're the daughter?" And he goes, "Then I suppose I am my father's reply." Which I thought was a hilarious way to end the chapter, Alyssa. It's just like, I suppose.
well,
Here I am. I'm the answer.
To what? I don't know. All right. That ends what? Chapter 10?
That's the end of chapter 10, correct. Now, chapter 11 is bonkers.
Continuation from chapter 10.
Okay, what do you think of Marcus's thoughts on Catherine? He's smitten. He's smitten, the little boy. He is smitten.
He's talking about Jameson describing her, and he's like, he did not do her justice. I was like, oh my god.
He is completely wrong.
I think he was questioning, like, did he even meet her? You know?
Did he even know her? Or like, what? Probably.
Trying to hide her.
He literally was like, "It's such a shame that a beauty has been trapped in a place like Thornwick."
Yup. In the middle of nowhere.
In the middle of nowhere, waiting for
With
you.
5 people.
5 people's all that's left.
5 people.
In the Thornwick
That's
Manor.
it. How did they even live? Like,
Hey, they've got a butler, a maid, like a kitchen lady, an assistant, and a stable boy. What else do they need?
they gotta go get their own fire. Apparently.
They do. She's all alone. She has no family. That's so sad.
Yeah.
I was like,
I think she's hardened a little, though. I'm
Oh,
getting that
yeah.
vibe, like,
yep.
from living out in that area.
I love how she like tells him afterward. "I said there was 5 of us, but there's 6 of us. There's a spy."
Actually, 6 of them. And he's super talkative.
He's like, "A spy
That was so
who's
funny.
super talkative? How odd!"
Oh, that was funny. I like that.
Do you think that there's something going on between Catherine and the spy?
Huh?
Hard to tell.
I kind of got that vibe a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
that there could be. Anyways, next question.
Do you think of Duke Saber's letter to Duke Kent? Did we see what the letter said?
Yeah, a little bit.
He was just super into writing it. Very like,
He was just ignoring Elo and talking about baby names.
yeah.
He says, "The plan remains in place. Duke Kimber is in line. I still await word from Hilltest." It sounds like things are progressing.
Mhm.
But it also means that the Kents, who is Fagin's wife's family,
Mm-hmm.
are on their side, or the side of the rebellion, right?
Which didn't Fagin's wife say that?
Yeah,
Kinda.
kind of.
She hinted at it.
She did. The biggest thing for me, too, was that Jack is about to marry a Kent. Jade, Lady Jade. This is like... It's all jumbled,
It's so
connected.
jumbled. It's
Yep.
so jumbled.
Oh, man. Liz, what did you think about Lana's revelation?
So mad.
I literally, the entire time since the vow was made, I'm thinking, what is this man doing? Is he dumb? Is he actually stupid?
Yes. Yes. He is.
He is.
Yes.
Who doesn't come up with some kind of way to prevent this?
Maybe he wants it.
His wife
He's sick
is
enough.
his wife is pregnant, and now he
He's a sick man. He probably wants this because he wants Lana to be caught as well.
Dude. How? And then she goes, she wanted to leave with Jack when Jack's leaving. Lana's like, oh man, I wish I could go with him. And Ellen's like, you can't leave me. I'm going to need you. I'm having a baby. Yeah, what's she going to do? She's having her own baby. She can't help you.
They don't know that yet. Oh, poor Lana.
Gosh,
Oh my
poor
gosh.
Lana.
I almost puked with her.
Me too.
Let me tell you.
Me too. Let me tell you.
I
Poor
was like,
Lana.
Lana, I will fight whoever you want me to fight.
But now, okay, so now hear me out. I think Elowen is going to become like this protective person over both babies.
I don't know.
And over Lana. You don't how else is Lana going to explain that she got pregnant? Unless what's the Duke going to do? Marry her off to someone really fast?
Never.
Exactly. So
He's twisted and demented in his head, thinking Lana is his.
oh my word. It's got to be explained somehow. What's the king going to do when the king finds out? Because he loves Lana.
War.
I was about to say, does the king start a war to come and collect his daughters?
It's a lot.
It's a
I'm
lot.
kind of sad though because I was like, well, where are the pirates? Where do they play into this? Lana's supposed to be with the pirate.
Where is
Okay.
Fabio? Is Fabio still going to rescue her and her baby?
Yes, the different kind of blonde lock of
Yes.
hair.
Not blonde
Not-
Farquaad.
Not blonde Farquaad. No, I was sick. It was hard for me to read that.
I also felt like Jack is a little bit of two sides of the playing field here. Double agent vibes.
He reminds me of a Tasmanian devil, just like
Jack?
yeah,
I think you're
just
kinda
going
right with
everywhere,
that. Yep, just kind of
just spinning
stirring it up.
wherever he needs to go. You know,
Yes, exactly. That's crazy.
he's everywhere,
Yep. All right, Liz.
everywhere.
This was the craziest end of a chapter I've ever had in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So what did you think of Helena's and Karin's relationship?
I think it's mother-daughterly.
Yeah.
Karin's expressing her feelings
Her
to her
boredom.
mother. Yes. It's like, I can't believe everyone is gone, and this doesn't bother you.
Her poor mom.
I think she's getting her inside wisdom from her mother, like a teaching moment.
Yeah.
So-
Ugh. Yeah, she's like, I think it's a good, indication that Karin is so young. She wants to play and be reckless and crazy, and her mom is like, it's time to grow up and become a lady and start getting ready to get married. It's your job.
Yeah.
Like your
Karin's
sister.
like, nah, I don't want to, you know?
Yep. She's like, I don't want to get married. And she's like, yeah, no one ever does. And then eventually they all do, and it's fine. And then I thought, what did you think of the revelation that she made to her mom?
As soon as she said dream, I was like, oh my gosh.
Literally. I was like, okay. But also we
She
learned.
said every other night, and it's like the same thing.
Yeah. And then Helena's like, that's not a dream. That's a sight. But then we learned something. Something very, very unusual. Where she says that there's never been two seers in one generation.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
we're learning some seer rule. Because right
Uh-huh.
now we have no understanding of how that magic works.
Right.
The only
But
thing
did-
we
what-
know about it is that there's a blood ritual sacrifice to receive the power.
But didn't Marcus have dreams before?
Yep.
Seth died though.
Yeah, he did.
So is this like a just
Or maybe there can only
like
be
an
one
awakening?
one seer awake at a time. Maybe it'll be some kind of situation like Marcus loses his power and then Karen gets it
Right.
or something.
I'm thinking it's just like a foretelling. Like,
What if
okay,
there's a way that they could share it so that it doesn't make them go mad like it did Seth?
oh, yeah, but Marcus has way more than what Seth ever did.
Exactly, which is why there would be more reason for him to share it.
Is he already sharing with Karen?
I don't know. I don't think so
'Cause of the
until Karen
dreams?
would come and do the same thing that he did.
Either that, or it's like a foretelling, like
Right.
the fates know,
Or
like how Marcus will end. So then Karen is awakening already.
maybe. Or remember you talked about this before where you said, what if like they're not full seers, but they have bits and pieces of it?
Yeah.
Maybe she can just see a little bit of the future and that's it. But she can't fully awaken as a seer.
Yeah, and it's not like exactly clear for her.
Yeah.
Just like Marcus's, like his wasn't exactly clear either.
And he didn't
And
know.
his changed a little.
And he thought it was
over
just
time.
a dream. What did
But
you...
like the hand is a symbol of something because Marcus saw the hand.
Yep.
It wasn't pointing at him yet, though.
No.
Until Seth's death. And then it pointed at him.
Yeah. Oh, that's
And then
true.
Karen now sees the hand, but it's not pointing at her yet. So I think that has to deal with something.
Yeah.
And being like, this is your time. Or like, wait, you have this potential, but not yet, basically.
Yeah. A ghastly hand, and it reaches for me. I do not know what it means, but that is always how the dream ends. It's got to be something with the dream and the hand.
Who knows?
Well, she's going to write her dad, but do you think we see Karen go to Julstead? Or Julston, whatever it's called? Where the Marcellos
Maybe.
are? Yeah.
Maybe.
So I will tell you this. This was the one thing for me that I remembered from the first time I read these books when my sister wrote them back in high school.
Mhm.
Karen was a seer. And I didn't know if she was still going to do that
Oh.
because she hadn't said anything about it until this point. And she made Marcus the seer. So I was like, well, wait a minute. Is Karen going to be a seer? Because Karen is a seer from my headcanon.
Yeah.
So that when that happened, I was like, oh!
This would make sense.
Yeah,
This
but
would make sense.
I did, but she's changed so much. So I thought, oh, she's just not doing that now.
Uh-huh.
But nope. So this was the one thing, the only thing that I knew, Liz, beforehand.
But there's seer potential. But I don't know how it's going to play out. That's the thing.
Right.
Can you have two at once? Does Marcus die? I don't even know.
I don't think so. But
Is it because Marcus Orvius chose him? He's not like a regular seer, so Karen will be the regular seer, and Marcus is gonna be like
this overseer
something
seer?
above it.
He's the overseer
Yeah.
seer.
He's the Lord Seer, the King of Seers, basically.
The spider. Except
The
not the
spider.
spider. The spider's dead.
The spider's dead.
I don't know.
He needs a new nickname.
But that's where the chapter ends.
It's wild. I don't know where this is going.
I feel even less certain about where everyone is going than I did chapters ago.
Yeah,
And
I don't even know anymore.
And the thing is that this is just the first book, so I know that there's a lot of stories that we're not going to get answers for a long time.
Yeah.
But
I'm
it's-
invested, though, in the characters.
so great. It's so much fun.
Except for Duke.
Freaking Saber. He'll get his, right?
If he dies,
We
I
will
need
have a
his
dance
death.
party.
to be retribution kind of death.
Yeah.
I need it. He needs what's coming to him. Basically.
He needs to get his comeuppance.
I want another horror chapter when that happens, basically.
We want another horror chapter. Oh, man. Well, that was chapters 10 and 11. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, then I think that's all that we have.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah. I'm Lindsay.
And I'm Liz.
And we are Tales and Tea.
Have a good night.